All right, season 8 of Between the Pipes. It is amazing to say that we are going into our 8th year of doing this together, Mark Springers. We welcome you guys into your official Altitude Sports Radio Avalanche Postgame Show. It is Between the Pipes. I'm your host, Alex Ryan. Y'all know me better as Raj, alongside the radio machine, my partner in crime for the last 7 seasons, going into our 8th. It's Mark Springer, and holy smoke, Spring, what a difference a full year makes.
You can just say holy shit. You don't have to say holy smokes, my friend. We're on the internet, baby, and we're back. We're so back, and the Avalanche are so back. Obviously this team is, and you look at the top six. Look no further than the top six. Hell, look at the goaltending. I mean, Scott Wedgwood. That was as good a Scott Wedgwood performance as you will see, and that's going to be unheralded tonight because of Marty Necas scoring a couple goals. The offense looking pretty good overall. That was as clean of a Wedgwood start as I've seen. He's usually, I've said in the past, he's like effectively chaotic. He looked as sound as he's ever looked. He looked fundamentally sound. It was by the book from Scott Wedgwood tonight. Little injury scare there in the third period, but he seems to be no worse for wear. That top six is dangerous. And see, that's the thing. Like, okay, so the top six, it's the same top six that they went into the playoffs with, the same top six that we were so excited about. It was a little bit the bottom six that I was more concerned with. But, they're on the ice for the Sam Malinsky goal, that fourth line. Gavin Brindley, flashing a couple moments, but Parker Kelly, Yoel Kiviranta in front of net. Kiviranta is so underrated, as is Parker Kelly for that matter. But I don't know, man. I guess I left last season with a taste in my mouth of they're so damn good, but they did lose in 7 to Dallas. Did they get better? I don't know. They're damn good. They're one of the elite teams in the league. And that top six it's dangerous, man. And if Marty Necas if he wants to make some money, if that's his goal this year, okay, take it to that outer space level so you can get that Kirill Kaprizov. Well, you're not going to get 17 mil, but you can get that.
No, you're not. No one's going to get 17.
You know what he can get is he can get that inflation rate. He can get that inflation rate.
The Kyle Connor contract that is expected to be announced sometime over the next few days is going to be somewhere in that 12 and a half region that I think the Necas camp is hoping to get to, right? And as this show goes on, we're going to break down this game. We're going to break down the win, 1 of 82, right? 82-0 season is upon us now, Spring. We will break down this, but as we get further and further into the show, we're going to give you our full NHL season predictions, our BOLD Avs predictions, and one of mine will be, well, Marty Necas is a 100-point player this year. I think a lot of that is the Nathan MacKinnon effect, that when you get to play on that top power play unit, and both Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon are the two guys that are facilitating you getting the puck, you're going to have more chances. And when Necas has the space, especially on the power play, you can see what he does. He throws one off the Kemper's blocker side dot on the power play. They go from 0 for 4 to 1 for 5. It makes people kind of breathe a little bit with the extra man. Was happy to see him score tonight. Happy to see him score early as well. He picked a couple of corners. He looked fast. But you mentioned it. It's the top six. And Chris McFarland, when you and I were there at the post-season presser, when they petered out in 7 games to Mikko Rantanen and the Stars, it was very clear that he and Joe Sakic went, we love what we have here. It just didn't go our way. It took this heroic effort from a player that was once ours that we had to part ways with on a wraparound to go off Sam Girard's skate. Like it had to go that way, that storybook way, nightmarish way for Avs fans, for us to not get through that first round. But they really liked what they saw. It's funny. The second line was the most impressive line of that series. You didn't really need him tonight because your top line was so damn impressive. 7 points through your top 6 forwards. If you add Cale Makar into that mix to make it a 7-player group, it's 9 points on the evening.
Yeah, the top 2 lines, like you look at them respectfully, and man, that second line was so good in the playoffs, and it's big. It's so big, and it's so talented. And obviously Nathan MacKinnon's on the top line, but It's almost like, okay, if Gabe Landeskog is back and he's at his best, and he had a couple moments tonight. He was a little ho hum. It was that top line. It was the reverse of the playoffs. But I'm thinking like, okay, look, Natchez is a damn good player, and you know that I was pleased with the return in the Mikko Rantanen trade. But if Landeskog's healthy, and you know how much of a Val Nichushkin fan I am, the beast, the choo-choo train that he is on the ice. Like I view those as their three best skaters: McKinnon, Landeskog, Nichushkin. If everything is right, if everything is going well, Marty Necas and Arturi Lehkonen on that top line, like I could put Gabe and Val up there. If I wanted to beast mode, if I wanted to Voltron this thing, if I wanted to go with my A+ players, but you are playing with Nathan McKinnon, and that's going to boost Marty Necas. I wonder if we still do see some meshing. I mean, Necas is a streaky player. You know, is he going to score 2 goals every night? No, he's not. And he'll have his down stretches. But it's just a matter of time until we see that second line getting going. We're going to see mixing and matching. We talked to Gabe at the Avs charity tournament, and I asked him, I said, you know, what about your line mates that you played with in the playoffs? And he talked about Brock Nelson, but he said, hey, we'll see what Jared Bednar, we'll see what coach decides to do with the lines. I think Gabe is anticipating that there will be some movement as this season goes along, but it was very encouraging to see that, you know, because Arturi Lehkonen, is he like a true top line play? Do you view him as that, as a true like top line, like bona fide player on the level of a Landeskog or even a Nichushkin? I view those two players ahead of a Lehkonen and ahead of a Necas. But there's a lot of mixing and matching that they can do.
Yeah, I don't know. Do I view him as, left wing one? No, he just fits well because he does everything well. Like he's an amazing 200-foot player. You see what he can do with the net front. He's willing to go to dirty areas as a smaller statured guy. So yeah, he fits on that top line. Yeah, they'll blend a few things this year. This is not what's going to be set. We're obviously going to see a lot of players move in and out with injuries and stuff like that. But I'm fine with Lehkonen being up there. You don't start off this game without him doing the dirty things in front of net. And that's what a lot of Avs fans over the past few years have hated, is that the Avs have not had a net front presence. And you had one this evening. Like, you score a goal because of net front presence. He gets buried by two Kings players. He wants the puck more. And yes, it takes a gargantuan effort from Cale Makar to even get the puck to that spot. Nathan McKinnon with his speed to go around the net as well. There's two huge bursts that McKinnon uses that directly lead to goals. The first being the Necas goal in the high slot, and the second being the one that Lehkonen puts in off the rebound. It starts because Nathan McKinnon's moving his feet. But you have to have a guy who's willing to go to the dirty areas. And therefore, if Lehkonen's that player, be my guest, you get to be left wing one.
Yeah, he's a top 6 player no matter what. First line, second line, doesn't matter. They're so deep. They're so deep. It just speaks to the talent, the depth of talent, and there are tiers. Like, I can't wait. Gabe Landeskog is going to get going. Like, he's going to show his true form. And when I'm just saying, like, that's a different level. There's just tiers to that. And, you know, you mentioned Makar. I mean, these are the tiers we're talking about. Like, that play from Cale Makar is elite. It is magnificent. It is every adjective that you can describe. I mean, bold prediction for me might be, I think it's just a matter of time until he's in that Hart Trophy conversation. It was weird to see his performance in the Star Series, but he looked very, very solid tonight. And you talked about net front presence. Okay, so let's talk about the power play. I guess if there was one negative tonight, although that Nature's second goal wasn't that right at the start of a power play?
The Nature's second goal was your one power play tally. Yes.
Yeah,
right off of the draw. Yeah. Snap it over to the far side. You're able to switch spots. No one's able to get across the center ice line for LA, and he gets to walk in on Kemper.
They're going with Brock Nelson as their net front kind of middle guy on the power play. Man, I think eventually Gabe is so good in that area, you know, and I think that they're just easing him back in still. Like, even I have to remind myself that just because he played in the playoffs and, you know, he played 5 straight games and it looked good. It was such a small sample size, and this is 82 games now. But I think that right now what's missing on the power play is net front presence. No one on this team fits that bill more, and there's no one really better in the league than one Gabriel Landeskog in that role.
So I guess the question is here, where is Landeskog going to get more opportunities to do damage net front? Is it going to be on the first power play unit when you're having one-time slap shot regatta with McKinnon and Natchez and Cale Makar walking the blue line and throwing pucks neck high because, well, he can hit a 4-inch spot with a puck when he wants to from 70 feet out? Or is it going to be on the second power play if you have a Taves or a Brent Burns, who is famously good at getting shots through screens, through blocking defenders, where he's actually able to get sticks on pucks and then bury home rebounds that are not necessarily labeled for the back of the net, right? Like, when Burns is shooting at this point in his career, he's shooting for tips. He's shooting for rebounds. When Cale is shooting, yes, can he shoot for a stick? Of course he can. But when Cale is walking down Broadway, he's trying to label that thing off of a post and in. It's much harder to get a stick on those shots, especially when it's above your chest, right? It's easier to tip pucks at hip height, at shin height, certainly off the ice. I wonder if they're looking at this going, well, can we maximize Gabe's ability to tip pucks, bury rebounds at the net front by pairing him up with other players that are just looking to get pucks into his vicinity? I think it's more along the lines of what you said to start the season. It's ease him in. Like, if we can make sure that we give him 3 fewer minutes a night in the early going, and if that means he's not playing power play 1, he gets 30 seconds on the power play rather than 90 seconds for a 2-minute stretch, then I can understand that's what I think that they're doing early on.
Because the power play was until the Natchez goal, it was over on the night. Multiple opportunities. The LA Kings committed so many penalties in this game. I thought an interesting moment in this game, actually a couple. One that I want to touch on that you just kind of alluded to, talking about Artturi Lehkonen, and I love Artturi Lehkonen. I mean, what a scrappy, good-hearted player. Being net front and available, and he's getting bodied up too when he fights through it. When Cale makes the amazing play, like Lehkonen's tough on that play, but also in the third period, he's it was Lehkonen, right, who was helping defend, helping back check towards Scott Wedgwood, and he got pushed into the end boards.
It was right before McKinnon's penalty was called.
Yes, and Nate was hot. Like, I want to talk about this. Nate was hot. So yes, Gabe Landeskog is back and he's the captain, but the onus, the added leadership of Nathan McKinnon over the years, where he just stands up for his dudes and he doesn't take any shit, and he will call anybody out. He's going to protect his teammates. He's going to yell at refs. He's going to point out when his dudes got wrong. Nate was hot and he was fired up because, that was a little cheeky cross check on Lehkonen.
I mean, that is at full speed. That's how you separate a shoulder. That is how you break
I was scared in that moment.
Yep.
I was like, uh-oh, here's our first injury of the year.
Yep. Those types of plays at full speed, when you don't have the ability to protect yourself when you're going into the boards. And luckily it happened right around the hash marks, right? You have the time where you can get your body into a position where it's just going to kind of hurt for a second and then you'll be okay. Where it gets really dangerous is where those plays are made at 100% speed, like around the crease. It almost happened to Yoel Kiviranta earlier on in this game, where he tried to drive the net front and got thrown into the short side post. Those are ones where you can lose teeth by eating the short side post if you end up catching an edge or get buried into the side of the net by a bigger player. Yeah, I love seeing the leadership from Nathan McKinnon. I love seeing Josh Manson step up and set an early body and an early
and that was the other play I was originally
Fogle.
going to reference. Yes.
And what does he do? He sets up. He understands he has to fight a 6'5" dude who doesn't even give him time to square up. And if you saw that, Josh Manson was livid, absolutely livid that young kid who's only played 13 games in the NHL did not square up Manson was like, fine. Like, I understand. Like, this is the new NHL. If I lay a big hit, I have to go and fight. I kind of hate it. If you lay a big hit and it's cheap, you should have to fight. If you lay a big hit and it's clean, we don't have to drop the gloves every single time. Like, let's fucking quit that. I've been over it for years, but at some point, hockey's hockey. Like, at some point, you're gonna get hit. Deal with it. I understand the kid has to. I can't remember his name. 30, was it 37, 39, whoever.
Yeah, Jeff Malott.
Malot's the player. I understand he has to do something to stay in the lineup, right? That's who you are as the 6'5" dude. Square up next time, young man. That's what Manson was pissed off about.
I need to did Butchercross mention on the broadcast that dude's like brother is an MMA fighter?
I did. I didn't look it up. I took Bucci's word for it.
Mike Malott.
Yeah, it turns out having a brother beat the crap out of someone for a living helps.
Yes. So I mean, that's why this dude's on the roster, is to fight, and he stood up for his dude Warren Fogle. I get it. It's a clean hit though. It's a clean hit, and so I get standing up for your dudes, but that's just part of the game. And big open ice hits that are within the allowable time frame that are in the chest. Chill out. I know that it fired. That was the highlight of the night for the LA Kings. I mean, it was good morning, good afternoon, good night after that. So they tried to spark their team, tried to spark the crowd, didn't work. And that brings me to the LA Kings themselves. Here's another key thing about this game, Raj. This is a team that I didn't even realize. Berto said this on the Blitz tonight. 4 straight years. I know it's been several straight years, but 4 straight years of a first round exit to the Edmonton Oilers. At a certain point, you just kind of become who you are. And
yeah, you're the Oakland Athletics of the early 2000s.
So let's keep in mind, like, this LA Kings team, they are a good team. I deep lines 1 through 4. They don't have a ton of holes, but they also are missing some star power. We're familiar with their goaltending. Darcy Kemper had an underrated season last year. He statistically was very sound and obviously helped the Avs win the cup, but we know what type of true goaltender he is. He's like a B+. He's good. Hey, Scott Wedgwood's on that level. You can win with something like that. I don't want to sell Kemper short. He's probably a little better overall than Wedgwood. Wedgwood was tremendous tonight, though, and has shown how capable and underrated of a goaltender he is. But it's not amazing goaltending. They don't have that star. Their stars of years past are getting older. Drew Doughty, to the point where Anze Kopitar is 38 and he's about to retire, and Quentin Byfield, their young, promising prospect, he's beyond prospect now. You got to get to that level. And so don't get me wrong. This is a very good win for the Avs tonight. But this is in Dallas. This is in Edmonton. This is in Vegas. This is those top teams in the league. But the Avs went and took care of business against a very formidable team, but a team that I do think could be due to regress a little bit this year.
Well, yeah, they won something like 31 home games or something crazy like that last year. They were unbeatable at home, and then obviously they run into Edmonton in the first round. They lose like they always do. I think LA's a team. I'm flip-flopping right now on whether or not they're going to be my 3rd seed in the Pacific or they're going to be one of the wild card teams that get in. I just think that they play a physical enough brand of hockey that you're going to garner enough points. Like, tonight's game was fast and hard-hitting and mean and chippy. It didn't feel like easing into the NHL season. I think a lot of that was because of who LA is. And also, like, if this is Kopitar's last season, man, they're not going out and having Kopitar miss the playoffs. Like, I think they've got enough to get there. I don't think they have enough to get outside the first round unless they get a crazy good matchup or luck injury wise on the opposite side of the equation. It was a good win tonight. Wedgwood looked good. It's a shame he had to solve a 5-on-3 at the end of the game because makeup calls were happening. Although, Josh Manson earned his cross check in front of the net. That's a penalty any which way. It sucks he couldn't find a shutout, but 4-1 feels really good. It's an awesome start to the season. It is a far freaking cry from what we saw last year when Alexander Georgiev let in 5 goals, and then Justus Annunen let in 2 goals on 4 shots, and then Vegas finished you off 8-4 with an empty netter. A far cry from what we saw October 9 of 2024.
Yeah, no, it was dude. Did you tweet it out? Were you the one who tweeted out tonight? The goal, the Georgiev
Yeah.
stats. Yeah, I mean it's what they have this year compared to last year at this time is night and day. And um, but this wasn't Dallas. Dallas is because I keep going back to that playoff.
Dallas is legit,
Man,
dude, with a good
they're
team.
legit. I can't wait for Saturday night. What a good early season. Now you got to get through the Utah Mammoth on Thursday night, home opener. But man, Saturday against the Dallas Stars. Oh boy, that's going to be a little early season litmus test. Where you at right now? I think the Avs will take care of Utah. I think they'll be 2-0 headed into that game. They very well should. They damn well should be. Does it concern you the Blackwood injury?
No.
Scott Wedgwood, can he? I think he can, but this is, going to be maybe a little solid stretch of him starting. And should they have to go to Trent Miner every now and again, is that something that could get in their way early and overusing Scott Wedgwood?
I'm not nervous about Blackwood. The fact that he was back at practice, taking shots live with the team, as recent as 3 days ago, I'm totally fine with that. I know if you guys are just getting in, I'm currently on parental leave. My baby girl just turned 2 weeks old yesterday. So this is the first camp in 8 years of doing this with Spring that I haven't been at camp watching these things happen. I'm watching from afar. I'm talking with McGahee and trying to figure out what is actually going on at camp. So this is me just relaying information that's already been out there. The fact that he was taking shots with the team a couple of days ago is good stuff. So no, I'm not nervous about it whatsoever. But again, that's not me seeing it with my own eyes.
Sure. No, that is a good sign. That is a good sign. Probably not too far off. And I forget too, in terms of my concerns with the bottom 6, and we got to wait a couple months here, but when Logan O'Connor gets back, that's going to really solidify this thing. Did I miss much? I didn't see much from our guy Victor Olofsson tonight. He's a very spotty player in terms of just kind of being in the right place at the right time, and unleashing that shot. But when you get Logan O'Connor back into that bottom 6, that really is going to change things too.
It will. I wonder what it does to a young player like Gavin Brindley, who, dude, he's an NHLer to me. That is an 82 game player to me. But
you think so?
I love what he does, man. I know he's small, but he's in the right spot all the time. He draws penalties. He gets pucks out of the zone. Even when he oversteps, there was a play where Edmondson kind of burned him on the short side. I want to say it was in the second period. Defensively, Edmondson walked down the short side boards. He's fast enough to make a misstep and then make up for it. He was able to cut Edmondson off the half wall after being beat at the top of the point. I love Gavin Brindley, and I think he's an 82 game player, which makes me think that when O'Connor comes back, I look at Olofsson and I go, I could see you going down. But let's be honest, the player's probably going to see his minutes get heavily diminished, if not cut outright, when Logan O'Connor comes back sometime in either November or early December. It's Joel Kiviranta.
I'm a big Kiviranta fan. Man, okay, because I know, look, Brindley looked good tonight, and it's one thing to, and it was just a couple moments. It was just a couple moments, but he looked like he belonged. Okay, don't get me wrong, but it's one thing to play well and live up to the moment in one game, in one single game. Can you do it over the course of a week and then 2 weeks, and then can it build? I have seen so many young, early 20-year-olds, on the fourth line, and they might flash for a second and then they get exposed a little bit. Now, hey, look, I don't want to take anything away from the kid. He had a good game tonight. He did, considering his role, what he was asked to do. I think of Cal Ritchie, who got a chance early last season. And, maybe the first game or two, we saw something. Next thing you know, he's down in the A and he's traded to the New York Islanders as part of the Brock Nelson trade. So, hey, look, if maybe this kid is more of a bottom six profile overall, whereas Cal Ritchie was more of that skill. If he comes into his own, he's more of a top six type player because it's a different role. You gotta be more defensive minded. You have to back check. It's got the little things, those grittier things, the more defensive minded play really on that bottom six. Maybe Gavin Brindley at his younger side, and he has skill, but maybe at his even despite his smaller size, maybe he brings those attributes to the table.
Completely agree. And I know Guru in the chat was saying, hey, I think you guys said this about Newhook too. Like, Newhook was a solid player and contributed to winning a Stanley Cup championship. And it's not like Newhook is out the league. It's not like Newhook turned into Tyson Jost. Like, Newhook is on a sneaky good Montreal team in their top six, contributing with the Canadiens in the middle of the ice. Like, I don't think just because Newhook isn't an Av means he was a failure. I just think that they had to move on from that player because they were doing other things up and down the roster, right?
But again, Newhook was one of to play in the bottom six. Look at the way that, like, when we
Wasn't
talk
sound
about
enough
Logan O'Connor,
defensively.
look at the way he plays. He does the little things. And Newhook, Richie, other guys that we've seen, young guys in that role, they don't have the savviness. They don't have those elements to their games. They are high upside offensive guys who hadn't had their offensive
Right.
games near close to being developed.
Right. Yeah. Sure. I could see him, being an up and down player where he gets sent down for a few games or they fall in love with some veteran presence. I just think that he does the little things right, and that goes a long way in a coach's mind. Like he attacks the game a lot like honestly, a lot like Arturi Lehkonen does from a 200-foot perspective. And I think he's got like just as much skill. So, who knows what's going to happen with that bottom six? All we know is that the top six is bowling right now, and you beat a decent LA team tonight. It should feel really good as you prepare to come back home and take on Utah and Dallas to finish out this first week of the season. It'll be really tough. The Mammoth are a good team. Dallas is they're either the front runners or they're in a pack of front runners where the Avs are just alongside them. Dallas is a hell of a team this year. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere on Saturday when Mikko Rantanen returns for his first regular season game back in Denver since being traded.
Then I think he had one.
Did he have one with the Stars at the end of the season?
Yeah, like March, I think. I remember it was like some sort of comeback one way or the other.
Regardless, it will feel
I think Dallas came back and forced overtime. Yeah.
It'll feel very fresh, right? Because at least when all that was happening, it was still the whirlwind of like, holy shit, Carolina traded him again and they traded him to Dallas. Screw you, Eric Tulsky. I'm never talking to you again. That's what I would say if I was Chris McFarland. So all of that chaos will be gone now. And now it's kind of going to be focused on your new normal, your new, oh my God, Mikko Rantanen is going to be in that terrible victory green for the next 8 years, and we have to watch him day in and day out, right? It's going to be that terrible feeling that I think the chaos of last year, you didn't really get to sit in those feelings last year. It was almost like breaking up with someone and you go out the next weekend and you're just in a small town and you're forced to go to the same 2 or 3 bars and you're going to run into them and you just have to deal with it and it sucks for a little bit. That's what last year was.
Well, but it will be, and you're right. Like it's gonna like 8 years or something like that, something in that neighborhood. Like you never know how time can unfold and what can happen, but it certainly seems it's going to be a long time, and it will just start to become a little more business as usual, ho hum, as time goes along. But it will be the first one since he single-handedly, essentially,
He did
eliminated this team. And he played the best hockey, I swear, of his career. And then, maybe that is really, because when it's that elimination, it's not that it doesn't sit well with me, because I get it. Someone's got to go home. Okay, I get it. And those were both great teams, but it was just like, man, the Avs stacked up. I love that roster. I love that team that they put together, top to bottom. Every single facet of that team, I thought they were set, not a single flaw, and they lost in 7. And so I'm just like, man, what do they have to do? Maybe it really was just that dude just balled the hell out and did something out of even his skates. And it was just one of those things. It was just one of those things, but it will be. I don't think it is set in quite yet. We're not 3 years in. He just eliminated you. He's still going to hear the boos on Saturday.
Oh, there will be boos. There will be boos on Saturday. Trust me there. Again, top 6 looks awesome. And I completely agree with Mikey Anton here, who, like, Mike, if you just want to come and hang out with me, walk down 15 feet and knock on the door. Don't ring the doorbell. The baby's sleeping. Mikey says 1 versus 8 fixes the problem of having to see Dallas. It fixes the problem for LA of having to see Edmonton in the first round for the last 4 years as well, man. It's Gary Bettman's the only person in the entire world that really wants this go through your division format. And you force really good teams to play each other in the first round, which is fucking nonsense. All right, Spring, enough about tonight's game. It's 1 of 82. Sure, they'll go 82-0 this year. And when they don't, we will talk about how the sky is falling. But as this is a post-game show, and we don't do post-game shows before there are games, we have to do an NHL season preview during our first post-game show. So there's a little bit of cheating here, right? I don't know how much you can learn from 3 games this year between Florida and Chicago and Pittsburgh and New York and Colorado and the Los Angeles Kings, but we're going to have a little bit of an asterisk next to our season preview because, well, the season's already started. Let's go through the Western Conference to start everything right now. Central Division, 3 teams to make the playoffs out of the Central, and then we'll go 3 teams out of the Pacific and your 2 wild card Central Division.
Yeah, I mean, the Avs will come out of the Central. There's no doubt about it. The Dallas Stars will come out of the Central. There's no doubt in my mind. And the third team, I'll go in that order. I'll go Colorado to win the Central. Yes, Dallas beat them last year, but and it's a great point. 1 versus 8 solves the problem. The Avs weren't a complete team until the back half of the season. Being the road team in that series certainly is a factor. Now they're healthy. They are very complete from the start. So I think that they can stay healthy. They can win this division. So Avs to win the division. I'll go Dallas 2. And I will go chalk. I'm going to go Winnipeg 3 out of the Central.
I have no changes there. Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg in that order. I think Winnipeg regresses just a little bit from their torrid pace of last year. All 3 of those teams are going to beat each other up. I think all 3 of those teams have a really good shot at having north of 100 points. Like, I think you could see the West going like 108, 106, 100, or 102 with those 3 teams. Those are my 3 in the Central. In the Pacific, I've got Edmonton, Vegas, and LA in that order. I'm trying to talk myself out of LA in the 3 spot and exchange them with Vancouver for that 3 spot in the Pacific. But right now I'll go Edmonton, Vegas, LA in that order. I think Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are poised for great things yet again. They're too damn good. McDavid very clearly sending a message to the franchise of like, hey, fix it over these next 3 years because I'm giving you a crazy discount, $12.6 million. And if you don't, I am leaving. Edmonton, Vegas, and I don't feel great about LA being my 3rd team, but I'll stick with my first blush.
Well, if you're right about your predictions, then at least LA won't play the Oilers in the first round. They would play the Vegas Golden Knights. Maybe that would help. But kind of for that exact same reason. And look, hey, good on Connor McDavid. Like that's a great team move. That's a great, good hockey gods move. And yeah, Edmonton and these Canadian teams always they always come up short, but at least Edmonton's made back-to-back cup finals. That's pretty damn impressive when you take a step back for a team that before the last 2 seasons, I really wasn't sure if they had that complete structure to them. And goaltending has remained a question for them, but man, McDavid has balled out. So is Draisaitl, banged up at times as well. Um, but for whatever reason, they can't win that damn division. And I'm going to go with Vegas to win the Pacific Division, adding Mitch Marner. I think that Vegas to me is back, and they're like adding Marner is gigantic to go along with Eichel and everything else that they have. So I'm going to go with Vegas to win that division. I'll go Edmonton 2, and I don't know. I just think the Kings are older. I don't think that it's going to be a storybook a season for Kopitar as they would like it to be. They've had their chances and they've squandered it. Oof. I will go. I will go with Vancouver. I'll go with Vancouver as my 3 seed. I know you were debating. I will take Vancouver.
I think it's going to be razor thin between those two teams. LA, Vancouver to get in is that 3 seed. As a result, I will throw Vancouver in as a wild card for me. And then my wild card 2 team, it's down to 3 teams. It's can Kirill Kaprizov, fresh off of signing the biggest deal in NHL history at $17 million average annual value over the course of the next 8 seasons, it kicks in next year. Can he play to that level? And what that level is, Minnesota is expecting Kirill Kaprizov to be Alex Ovechkin light. They are expecting him to produce at the level of a Connor McDavid, a Nathan MacKinnon, a Leon Draisaitl. Now, if he does that, Minnesota could certainly be one of the 3 teams coming out of the Central as a non-wild card team. Now, if he just produces at the 90-point level or just south of 100 points or maybe 100 on the nose, I think they don't have enough right now depth-wise to get it done. There's a lot of youth on that Minnesota team that I love, but I don't think it's ready to take the next step. I think Matt Boldy's a hell of a player. I think Zeev Buium this year has a dark horse shot out of DU to find a way to, win the Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year. Brock Faber on the blue line, sick as well. I just don't think that they're ready quite yet to make that step. I think Utah is going to sneak in as that wild card 2 spot. I got the Mammoths being your 8th and final team getting into the Western Conference postseason.
Okay. I like that. I like that because I got a bold pick here coming up as well because there's usually at least one surprise, at least one team that fights for the playoffs. Even if they come up short, I can still maybe try to predict who that team would be, even if they come up just a little bit short. Could be dead wrong here. I don't hate your Mammoth pick at all. The former Yotes, we've seen that team. They have been building a little something there. There's some decent talent actually on that team. And you know that's you see it. You saw Vegas, that city rallied around. Like it's so exciting to have this new hockey team. And if they do well, everybody gets so into it. Happened with Seattle for a hot second there. So don't hate that Utah pick at all. I'm going to stick with the St. Louis Blues, though. I think the Wild missed the playoffs. I think that paying Kirill Kaprizov $17 million is going to bite them in the ass starting now. Whether he gets hurt, I don't know. He's had some injury issues in his career. And I know that it really won't affect their cap right now, but I don't know. That's just such a massive overpay. And don't love the vibes. Dude. What?
I said it's insane.
Yes.
$17 million for Kirill Kaprizov's nuts.
I think he's a hell of a player, but 17 mil.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Holy shit. The St. Louis Blues, look, every year they fight. They got back into it last year. I don't think they're winning a cup. Don't get me twisted. But they're just one of those teams that's just a pain in the nuts. So I think that they get one of the 2 wild card spots. Here's my surprise pick. And here's one of the reasons that I chose Vancouver over the LA Kings sometimes that new coach, that good new coach energy helps you out a little bit. Rick Tocchet ignited the Canucks for a hot second until he didn't, and now he's out. Now Adam Foote's in for the Vancouver Canucks. I like the footer. Come on, Adam Foote. I'm going to go, though. Here's another new head coach. And I know that this is a little bit of a controversial name, but say what you want. He's a damn good NHL head coach. I'm going to say that the Anaheim Ducks get the 8th and final wild card spot. No, if I'm right, hell yeah, I'll take Avs Ducks in the first round all day. Joel Quenneville is now the head coach of the Anaheim Ducks. They have some young talent. They have some veterans to mix in as well. I
Carlson's a freak.
Yeah, he absolutely.
He's a freak.
And Leo Carlsson is tremendous. And the Pacific Division is, I think, weaker than the Central. So I think that can help Anaheim get some points that maybe they otherwise wouldn't. I'm going to go with Anaheim as my 8th seed.
Yeah, I could see Anaheim if LA goes the way that you think LA goes, I could see Anaheim making it for sure. For sure. Now, what LA needs is Kemper to be Kemper from last year. Now, if he turns into pre-Avs Kemper, then they're in trouble. But, dude, I really, really like that pick. Like, they're going to play meaner. They're going to play bigger. They signed Mason McTavish, Jackson Lacombe gets another deal as well. I like their young core. I like Lucas Dostal and net. They get rid of Trevor Zegras, who's for me, a fake hockey player. I like them, and Quenneville's a hell of a coach. I know he's controversial, but he's a hell of a coach, man. I like that pick, Spring. I'm a huge fan of that. All right, to the Eastern Conference, the Metropolitan. I think the Metro is one of the easier ones to pick right now. I've got Carolina running away with it. I think Carolina's got a really good chance to win the President's Trophy this year. The Metro is gettable once again for them. They have just as good of a team as last year. Logan Stankoven now there for 82 games. I've got Carolina winning that division. I've got New Jersey finishing a close second because if they stay healthy, they have every piece in the puzzle to get through a wide open Eastern Conference this year. And I think Mike Sullivan is the difference to make sure that the Rangers get back on track and don't fall flat on their faces like they did last year. The Rangers are my third team getting in out of the Metro.
I agree with you. I got Carolina winning that division as well. Now, Washington won it last year, and Washington is a very interesting team, and you didn't have them in your top 3. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I can put them in my top 3 either.
I don't have Washington making the playoffs, Spring.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those, it felt like a last hurrah type season, just overall. I think Ovechkin in himself will have another good year. Maybe not the level we saw last year. That was kind of crazy what he did at his age last year. But to do that again with an aging Ovechkin is just going to be so difficult. Look, Carolina makes out pretty well, all said and done. Even though Mikko kind of spurned them a little bit, getting Logan Stankoven is a good young player. They have a really solid team. Brenda Moore is a hell of a coach. They're just, to me, the most solid team in that division. So I'll go with them 1. And I will go, oh boy, I'm going to go with the Rangers 2. I know they lost tonight. It's opening night. It doesn't really matter, but they always figure it out. There's too much talent on that team. It's one of those perfect 2-3 seed teams. That's exactly what the New York Rangers are. They're not going to get it done ultimately. But I'll go with them number 2 because this division is very, very funky. I will look, Jack Hughes is so good. I'd love to see him figure it out. I'd love to see him
just stay healthy
on that level. So I'll just flip-flop it there. I'll go Devils 3.
All right. I think those are your 3 best teams. You're obviously going to have some of those normal stalwarts in that division take a step back. Pittsburgh doesn't have it anymore. I know they win tonight, but yeah. Unless they do a Washington team or Washington thing like last year, and they do let's get one for the Gipper, the last run for Malkin, Letang, and Crosby all together. I guess it could happen. We saw it, right? Like it happened last year, but Washington had a better young core, and they found ways to hit on like Jacob Chikrin at a really good deal. I don't see Boston making it. I think Boston offloaded obviously last year, and I think that makes everything easier. As we go to the Atlantic, your Atlantic division, I have it going Toronto, Tampa Bay, and I think Ottawa puts it together this year. Ottawa is your third team for me out of the Atlantic.
I I'm I'm not a believer in Toronto right now. Losing Marner, I just think that is such a key to me. It's why I like Vegas. It's why I'm down on Toronto right now. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a surprise here to win the freaking division. Florida is chalk. Florida is, they should do it. Florida should do it.
See, I don't think they should. Dude, the Barkov and Kachuk injuries are huge.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Barkov's done for the year. Kachuk's done until the Olympics.
I know. That's why. If not for that, it should be Florida.
Now, I'm not counting out the Panthers, but I don't think they're going to win the division.
Tampa would be my next pick, but they're getting older too. I'm gonna take a little stab out of left field here. I think the Montreal Canadiens win this division.
Ooh, I love that. You know, I love me some Canadiens hockey.
I mean, Lane Hudson is a freak, and they have other good young talent on that team. And that started last year. They kind of
they started to figure it out.
They took a step.
Can't defend. They couldn't defend last year, but they figured it out, man. That Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Suzuki. It's a good group.
It is. And I just, if it wasn't for those Panthers injuries, I would go Florida. I don't know. Tampa just doing it at this point of where they are in their run doesn't feel right to me. I think they're a playoff team, but I think that one of these young teams could be Ottawa. It's either going to be Ottawa or Montreal that can really threaten this division, but I'm going to go Montreal. I think they win this division.
I like that. I think that's sneaky pick. I like it. I'm there for you.
Bold.
It is bold. All right, so I had Toronto, Tampa Bay, Ottawa in that order. You have Ottawa starting off 1. And your 2 and 3 teams are Tampa and Florida?
Yeah, Montreal 1, and then I will go Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
I'm going to go Tampa, Florida, and that's a really good first-round series. It's 2 Florida teams, obviously. I'll go Tampa,
Oh, they
Florida.
hate each other. They were fight. There was a brawl happening in preseason between those two teams. My 2 wild card teams this year, I think Florida's your 1 wild card, and I think they're the team that, if you're the 2 seed coming out of, let's say Toronto, right, is the 2 seed coming out of the Atlantic, and you have to turn around and you go, my date is with the 2-time defending Cup champions. Are you fucking kidding me? I think they're going to be that team. They will be healthy then. They're obviously not going to have Barkov, but they are damn good. They're long. They're mean. They are hungry. They're not going anywhere. I just don't think they're going to have enough firepower during the year because of all these injuries to garner enough points. Florida's my first team making the wild card in the East, and then I've got Montreal as my wild card 2 team, and they are dangerous. I think Montreal is going to scare the living crap out of Carolina in week 1 or in round 1.
I'm going to go with Toronto missing the playoffs. That'll be one of my.
Man, damn.
Yeah.
That place would burn.
Let it burn. I'll probably be wrong. Okay. I'm going to go with Ottawa as the 7th seed, as the first wild card team. Brady Tkachuk, other good young talent on that team. And, a team that I really like, and it's going to come out of the Metro for my 8th seed. I'm going to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets. That team fought their asses off last year. Also with some good young talent. They bring in Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood, and I really like Charlie Coyle. I think is he anyone's savior? Is he going to be the best player on anyone's team? No, but that's a good veteran middle 6 addition for a team that fought so hard following the tragic and untimely death of Johnny Gaudreau. I was so impressed with what I saw from Columbus last season. I think that what we saw tonight from Gavin Brindley worked out for the Avs so far. I think it worked. I think that this is what Columbus needed. I got them as my final wild card team and the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference.
Dang. All right. So that means you got Toronto missing the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That means you have Philly,
Toronto's the big one.
Boston,
the Capitals we both have.
Washington, Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's okay.
For me, Toronto. Yeah, Toronto and Washington would be the two big ones that I have missing the playoffs.
Yeah, Toronto would be crazy. The reason why I don't have them missing the playoffs is because as we get into our awards right now, I have Austin Matthews regaining the Rocket Richard this year. I think if Matthews plays 80, 82 games, he's going to score 58 or 60 goals. So I've got Matthews winning the Rocket, and if he does win the Rocket, I think they make the playoffs. If Matthews gets hurt and he doesn't compete for that trophy, they're in a big window of do you actually blow this thing up completely? Not just like Marner is out of here, but we decide to trade, Matthews for a grand cache of picks and players. I think Matthews gets it done. I think he's your Rocket Richard winner. Therefore, I think Toronto makes the playoffs.
Okay, I'm looking at the odds to win the Rocket Richard right now. And Draisaitl plus 300, Matthews plus 380, Kaprizov plus 600, Pastrnak plus 800.
Pastrnak plus 800 is great value.
Well, someone's got to put up numbers on that team.
Yep.
And he's going to be shooting the puck left and right because he doesn't have a lot around him. You're right. It's not a bad bet. I don't hate, like, if I'm looking for a long shot, Cole Caulfield at plus 5,000.
Dang. What, Cole's got to put up like 55 then.
Hey, man.
I love that. But I love that player.
He's getting better odds than I would expect a player of his experience to get. Like, he's the name that stands out to me when I'm like, someone who's in this group who maybe shouldn't be there. Tells me that maybe there's some sharps out there that like them some Cole Caulfield.
Okay.
I like it.
I don't hate that at all.
And hey, if my Canadians are going to win that division, they might need that. They're going to need that.
I've got McDavid winning both the Hart and the Art Ross this year. I just think he's due for a monster season. There's been a couple of years where he's been one of, if not the best player in the world, but it hasn't been that like, oh, I'm Connor McDavid. I am the best point producer in the world, and you should all know it. It's been a couple of seasons since he's done that. I think he wins the Art Ross. I think he puts up like 140 points this year. And I think if he wins the Art Ross, he will win the Hart because he's kind of overdue for that trophy, if I'm being honest.
Sure. I feel that.
It's so chalky. I was like, oh, who's going to win the Rocket Richard? Matthews. Who's going to win the Hart trophy? McDavid. Like, fucking.
Well, this is where I do think it's chalky. I think the Hart is chalky, but in this sense, because here's your two favorites, and as they should be, McDavid plus 200, McKinnon plus 500. I think what we're going to see this season, I think we're going to see an epic two-man race. I think we are going to see both of these players just go back and forth in terms of night in, night out performances. One night it's McDavid doing this. The next night it's McKinnon doing that. 1 week, McDavid looks like he's going to win it. The next week, holy crap, now it looks like McKinnon's going to win it. I think that these two, the entire season, are going to battle it out, and one of them's going to win it. I'll go with McKinnon. Screw it, because he's always the underdog in this battle, and I think he thrives on that a little bit. I think sometimes you want to be the underdog in that situation. They're both tremendous players. Yep. Here's my bold prediction. There will be a second Avalanche player wearing a suit as a finalist for the Hart Trophy at the NHL Awards. It'll be two Avs versus one Oiler. It might be that one Oiler who wins it, but Cale Makar will be sitting alongside those two.
I love that. I think that's a great prediction. My bold prediction was, I know he was close last year. Well, if Cale Makar puts up 100 points. Now, if he puts up 100 points, he will win the Norris. And if he puts up 100 points, he will be a Hart Trophy finalist. So I'm right there with you, Spring. I think he's damn close. We haven't seen 100 points since Erik Karlsson, and I think it will be a vastly different 100 points than when Erik Karlsson did it on a terrible San Jose Sharks team. He's going to be able to do it at both sides of the ice. You saw it tonight. He's a shutdown defender. He blocks shots. There's a big block at the beginning of the game that should have been. It was that beautiful pass. I think it was like Kevin Fiala. Can't remember exactly who it was. Went like between the legs, behind the back to the high slot. Makar's right there in the crease to block the shot. Should have gone in. He's the best all-around defenseman in the world. Is he the best defender in the world? No, but he is the best all-around defenseman in the world when it comes to creating offense, shutting top players down, playing both PK and power play. There is no one better, no one more complete in this game of hockey than Cale Makar. And if he puts up 100, that dude will be sitting there in Vegas, hopefully winning a Hart Trophy. I think it's great. I think it's bold, and that's the reason why I have him over 100.
Yeah, and you really can't. I don't. It's a two-man race with the Norris. It's Makar plus 150. It's Quinn Hughes plus 210. You know, Zach Werenski has the next best odds, and he had a very admirable season last year. Part of why I like the Columbus Blue Jackets, but at plus 1200. So I mean, just a massive, massive gap between Cale, Quinn, and then everybody else. But yeah, if Cale does what he should do, and Quinn's a great player, no one is taking anything away from him. But Cale Makar is just on an absolutely it's and when I say absolutely different level, it's no disrespect to Quinn Hughes. It's not. Cale is just that generational talent. And the Norris is once again his to lose. The only reason he wouldn't is if somebody, maybe it is Quinn, is right there with them and the voters have fatigue. That's it, because Cale will earn this at the end of the day, or he will have the better numbers. He will.
If his numbers end with 100 points,
Then it's
there's
over.
no fatigue that stops it.
Sure.
You are right though. If it's Cale puts up, another 30 goal season, but they end at, 95 points, and Hughes puts up a 75 assist season, something crazy like that, and has 92 points. I could certainly see that. Ben asks, did we ever find out if Cale was injured during the Star Series? We did. He wasn't.
They said he wasn't. They said he wasn't. And they had every right to, say, even if it was the littlest thing, and make an excuse for him. Lane Hudson plus 2,500 to win the Norris. That's like the one long shot there I would look at.
I'll go back to Montreal. My Calder Trophy winner is Ivan Demidov.
And he is the favorite, and it's not even close. He's plus 175.
He's just
and then
one of
Jimmy
those players
Snuggerud of the Blues, and that's just a scrappy little team, but he's way back there at plus 1,000. Zeev Buyum is plus 1,400.
Yeah, Demidov's one of those players that he's the guy that played a bunch last year, but is still somehow a rookie this season because he didn't hit the threshold. That's the reason why he's head and shoulders above everyone else, because, well, he showed up last year and was very clearly a top 6 player on a dangerous Montreal team.
Sure.
Demidov wins Rookie of the Year. You love Montreal this season in the Eastern Conference. I like them as a wild card team, a plucky wild card team as well. Give me Demidov for the Calder. I think Shesterkin regains the Vezina this year. If you're going to compete with Carolina and the New Jersey Devils, Shesterkin has to be worth the money right now. And if I'm correct, isn't he still the highest paid goaltender ever? You have to play like that.
You do. He's been a little up and down since he earned that money. Hellebuck's the favorite at plus 400. It's tough for me to not go with Connor Hellebuck. Just in the goaltending in the NHL, because you got Vasilevsky down at plus 900. He was that dude, and now he's a little up and down as he starts to age. Right now, it's Connor Hellebuck is the best goaltender in the NHL in the regular season. Look, Shesterkin has all the talent in the world. I just don't know. I don't know if he'll regain that form. So I'm going to go chalky and go Hellebuck there.
I want to give you guys an opportunity to laugh at me, because we do laugh at me a whole bunch on this show throughout the course of 82 plus games. As we're into our, again, staggering 8th season as a pairing here, Mark Springer on Between the Pipes. You want to hear some of my dumb, bold predictions from last year?
Yeah, let's hear where you were wrong because it's so hard to get these right.
Casey Middlestat, 75 points.
Dude, how awesome is it that I've kind of forgotten about Casey Middlestat?
you want to hear how else I was wrong?
Let me hear it.
Alexander Georgiev, 920 save percentage.
Oh my, Forgiev.
The dude just got put on waivers by Buffalo today.
You know, it's sad because,
Ouch.
you know, Georgiev had that good first season with the Avs and was in the prime of his career and talked about the good prospect he was with the Rangers. And then maybe it was just between the ears. Something happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I screwed that one up. My other two that I was off. I had McKinnon at 450 shots, which he didn't touch. He had 320. And I had him at 145 points. I thought he was going to take his 140 point season 2 years ago and build upon those things. Did he have a great season? Yes. Did he put up 145 points? No, he did not. I had McCarr playing 81 games and finishing with 110 points. So I was a little bit closer on those.
Go back a couple. There was something I wanted to say about one of them.
Middlestat 75 points, McKinnon 450 shots and 145
the McKinnon 450 shots. Okay. So
well, they have to be bold. They have to be like outrageous.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
No one likes like here's a bold prediction. You know, Nathan McKinnon and the Avs are going to be a playoff team. Like you have to do stupid shit every once and again.
These are bold predictions. You know, I noticed McKinnon's name in the Rocket Richard odds, but you can't take him because even though he's a great goal scorer, he's just not going to lead the league in goal scoring. And so it's funny tonight, and I missed this on the broadcast, but I saw Nate Kreckman tweet about it.
Bucci, yeah.
Yeah, apparently John Buchagras said Nathan McKinnon not known for his playmaking. That's exactly what he does.
He had 84 assists last year, Booch.
See, it's funny. People, they see his head of steam. Because in fairness to John Buchagras, he's not watching Nathan McKinnon every single night, okay? So when you watch him in you know, every now and again on national TV and he'll pot a few goals and he scores them with such, you know, ferocity, you're like, this dude's just a great goal scorer. But really, it's his playmaking. The thing you said he's not known for is actually what he's best at.
You mean the guy?
It's why everyone's is a Nathan McKinnon merchant because he sets you up. Marty Necas had 2 goals tonight.
He's had 173 assists in the last 2 regular seasons.
He's a point guard. That's what he is. He's an elite, badass, intense point guard.
I mean, there is a better chance that the only 50 goal season in Nathan McKinnon's career is his MVP year 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
I think there's a better chance that you only see 50 out of him once in his career than there is him winning the Rocket Richard this year. And it doesn't matter. It's like, he doesn't need to be a 50 goal scorer to be the best player in the world. He doesn't. Like, how many times did Crosby score 50? I'd be shocked if Sid had more than 3 total in his career.
These guys are playmakers. That's what they are. And in fairness, like, because Greg in the chat says BSPN is so lazy. Look, I like John Buchagras. I think he's
Sid
very
scored
good.
50 once. He had 51 goals when he won the Rocket in 2009.
I think Bucci is a great hockey dude. He knows his shit. It's just, let's be completely real about it. It's hard to watch everything every night. And again, when you're just seeing glimpses and you're not, you know, in the local market watching Nathan McKinnon night in, night out, I understand how you could think something like that. So I'm not trying to trash it, dude. I think he's very good.
All right, Spring. I think that's it for our regular season NHL prediction show and our first post-game show of an Avs 4-1 win against the LA Kings. It felt like a good win, felt like a good top 6. I like the predictions. I like your bold assertions of Cale Makar being one of 2 Avalanche players to wear a suit to Vegas and hopefully hear his name Red for the Hart Trophy. We'll do playoffs when it gets to that time, but I do think that Nathan MacKinnon, if he doesn't win a Hart this year, I think there's another type of MVP trophy that could be in his future. This team's good enough to win it, man. There's a lot of teams that are good enough to win a cup this year. I don't think there is a top level team right now. If Florida was healthy, I'd say it's the Panthers. But Alexander Barkov is not playing this year, and he's not playing in the postseason. So it's kind of up for any one of these elite teams. Florida, Colorado, Carolina, Dallas, Vegas, Edmonton. All of those teams, I think, have a really good shot, if not an equal shot, of getting this thing done.
And one more kind of bold prediction here before we leave, because it's just I think that this man is really the key to the season. And I want to pull up his career stats here so I can give something that makes some sort of sense, something that would be in the ballpark of something that is achievable. Gabriel Landeskog. I just think he's going to have a damn good season. I think he's going to return to form. So his career high in goals was 34 back in the 18-19 season. The last full season he played when they won the cup, he scored 30 goals. Okay, 30 goals. 30 goals for Gabe Landeskog. He gets back to the 30-goal mark this year. I don't know if that's overly bold, but he's only done it twice in his career, and coming off of, missing 3 years, I think that him getting back to 30 goals is somewhat bold. I think he does it. I think he's the key to this team, and I think he shows people. I think he shows people.
I'll throw another one out there. So my bold ones have been Makar 100 points, Natchez 100 points, which doesn't feel as bold. That kind of feels like a little bit of a bitch move.
No, it's fair. That's a fair one.
How's this? Natchez 100 points, and he leads the team in goals.
Now we're talking.
There's the boldness for Marty Natchez.
All right, he's about to get $13 million a year and surpass the Mikko Rantanen contract.
And my third and final one is, dang, Gabe's good, man. 30 goals is bold, because I think like a really solid return to Gabe Landeskog is like a 20-goal season.
Sure.
And you add in another, 40 assists for a 60-point year where he plays 70 games. Like, I think that would be, I would take that.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
And that would still be a massive success. But bold, 30, bold.
Mackenzie Blackwood, Vezina Trophy finalist.
He's damn good. And I definitely noticed his name when you look at some of the more realistic long shot odds, not overly long shot odds.
And Team Canada will make the horrible mistake of keeping him off the roster. They will struggle goaltending wise. They're going to be great, right? I think you're going to see a Canada-USA final. And I think the reason why the U.S. wins their first gold since 1980 is because they leave Mackenzie Blackwood off the Canadian roster. The Americans win because they get great goaltending from Ottinger or Hellebuck or Thatcher Is Thatcher Demko American? I think he is too. All the good American goalies. They're going to get amazing goaltending from one of those three guys. The Americans win gold, and Canada will try not to burn itself down because they left a guy who's going to be a Vezina Trophy finalist and Mackenzie Blackwood back home.
Hey, we'll take that, because it just means more rest and less labor for the Avalanche starting goaltender.
That's going to do it for us. Episode 1 of Season 8 of Between the Pipes. That's Mark Springer, Alex Ryan-Emmy. It's Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. We'll talk to you guys on Thursday after the Avs take on not the Utah Hockey Club. It's the Utah Mammoth. See you guys then.